guys. Welcome to the Tuesday night hangout. Let's see, we have a few people. We're going to be talking about fly-ins today, and for the next couple weeks, we're actually going to be talking about fly-ins, just the different ones around the country. Will, how are you doing tonight? Will sounds really good. Okay. Shane, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. I had a nice weekend. Went to a private, I guess a fly-in, and stayed at a some private property. Hung out with a bunch of people. James Sutherland, Brooke, Brian Waller. Oh man, James Parker, a whole bunch of people. Anyways, we had a really good time, and I'm looking forward to going back. That's for sure.
Good deal. Mark, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. Glad to be here and glad to see everybody in the chat.
Awesome. Will, did you take care of your mic issue?
Yeah, I got automatically muted. I love that intro, man. It's like Friends, you know, the show Friends. Because we're not really friends in real life, just on the show here. Yeah. No, doing good. Yeah,
good deal. Well, tonight on the show, we have Ty and Chris, and they're going to be talking about the Kennedy Creek fly-in, which is a brand new fly-in this year. And before we get to them, Shane kind of wants to tell his issues that he had at this weekend that he went to on his fly-in. So Shane, take it away. Let's hear it.
Okay, so we all do pre-checks, pre-flights, and after flights. What the heck? Am I already off the show? Am I? So when I put on my new exhaust from my other one cracking, I ended up on this gasket or this rubber bushing. Sean, Will, what's Sean's last name?
Hall.
Okay, he's what school is he with?
Carolina PPG.
Yeah, super nice guy. Had some issues with my motor not staying running every time I leaned over to pick up my riser, what have you. And when we got back, he decided to go through my motor. And with this exhaust, this doesn't look too bad because this is normal. But what I did is I actually stuck a metal washer between here and the exhaust frame when the washer was supposed to be on the other side. And I don't know if this camera is picking it up, but it literally wore almost that complete exhaust or this bolt in half.
Wow.
So I found that. Then on other inspections, this is behind the airbox, and it's actually cracked in 3 places on here.
Wow.
Actually, let me show you this side. I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's 3 hairline fractures on here. Then he pulled my airbox, showed me that my air filter was split, which wasn't too big of a deal. But inside here, this whole piece is the little where the airbox or the filter sits is cracked inside here. I literally had never even seen or would have never seen that if it wasn't for him. The reason my motor was actually quit working when I bent over for whatever reason, the clutch and the clutch housing was actually making a rattle noise, almost like a chain being drug across metal, if you will. And if you look inside the housing here, see how shiny it is? It's supposed to be black. And if you look at the clutch, it's shiny on the outsides here.
Mm-hmm.
It's because it was rubbing. And there was enough friction that when I leaned forward, it would put enough friction on the housing in the clutch to stop the motor. Sean was nice enough to give me a new housing, or a new used housing, and a new used clutch, and a new airbox, and a new filter for a 12-pack of beer and dinner. So,
Cheap
Sean,
date,
Dude, I'm telling you, Sean, thank you very much. If you're listening, I cannot thank you enough for helping me out and spotting some of the dumb stuff that I did to my equipment and or accidentally did. So
Nice. Hey, real quick, we have Andy in the house. Will, would you introduce Andy, please?
Hey, Andy Ovens, he's representing Sun and Fun this year, and he has graciously, I know he's got a really busy schedule, so he's graciously accepted an invitation to pop on for a short period of time and just kind of tell us a little bit about what Sun and Fun is, and if you've never been to Sun and Fun, kind of what to expect, what it's all about. How you doing, Andy?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me tonight.
Yeah, man. So what is just start with the basics. What is Sun and Fun?
So the Sun and Fun Aerospace Expo is the second largest aviation fly-in convention in the United States. We're about a little under half of what Oshkosh is. We're a 6-day event. This year the dates fall April 5th through 10th. We're out of Lakeland, Florida. So it's a perfect time to be in a warmer environment. We say it's spring break for pilots. And this year we've got the Thunderbirds coming back to Lakeland.
Nice.
We're looking forward to having them. They haven't been in our event. They haven't been since 2016. So we're looking forward to having them. And a lot of people know us as a big air show, but it's really what we do 51 weeks out of the year that really makes the difference in the industry. And that's the Aerospace Center for Excellence. And that's really the parent company that runs Sun and Fun. And we're a youth education campus, if you will. We've got Central Florida Aerospace Academy, which is a public high school. It's right across the street on the property. And our mission is to engage, educate, and accelerate the next generation of aerospace professionals. So everything that goes into Sun and Fun, all the ticket admissions and everything we do gets churned back into the aerospace industry and young adult professionals.
That's awesome. And it's an EAA event, right? EAA sponsored event. Is that?
So misconception is it's currently an EAA event. Way back in the day, of course, this is our 48th convention this year.
Wow.
Way back in the day, Paul Poberesny and all of the heavy hitters at that time in the aviation industry kind of got together and said, let's make it happen. There was a period in EAA's history that they kind of decided as a company to step away, and they kind of separated out from a lot of the major fly-ins in the country. And so a lot of people still think that we're affiliated with EAA, but we are a separate entity, and we've been for some time now. But we wouldn't be here had Paul and those guys not gotten a DC-3 at the time. That was their corporate airplane, and really, put a lot of effort into making our event successful from the start.
Right on. DC-3. So is it to somebody that's never been to Sun and Fun? Is it just talking about aviation? I mean, is it like a family type event? Something for the kids, something for the wife. I mean, there are a lot of vendors there. Throughout the day, in other words, is it just about the flying, or is there other things to do, or what?
Yeah, there is everything you have in Oshkosh, we have at a little bit smaller scale. So starting out with aircraft camping, we get about 6,000 airplanes. Many of them choose to camp next to their airplane. We've got a very large campground for RVs and tent camping as well. We're a 6-day event. You got all the educational forums going on throughout the week. Of course, the daily air shows. We've got a Wednesday and a Saturday night air show. And it's really, it's the best of the best in the air show world. So it's really a place for you to come and see the elite performers in the country. And it's a ton of fun. I like to say my motto is to never grow up. So Having a 10-year-old son myself, we're very driven, obviously, with our youth education initiative. We try to make it an all ages, event and try to keep it interesting for everybody. And I've got volunteers that are, pushing 90 that work for me, and they can't get enough of it. So
yeah, I bet they love it.
yeah.
Absolutely. Well, really, thank you for joining us, Andy. Eric, did you have any questions?
Nope, just that's April 5th through the 10th.
Yep.
April 5th through the 10th.
You know, if that's half the size of Oshkosh, that's still big.
Yeah, and I used to work. So I worked in Oshkosh for 6 years before Sun and Fun recruited me, and we'll never be as big as them. That's okay, but I like to say that we're a little bit more intimate. So, with a lot of the people that go to Wisconsin, we have a lot smaller crowd by definition, about 60% the size. But you still have most of the major exhibitors and vendors in the country, in the world, represented at our event. So you can still go and basically build an airplane in our exhibit halls, and you get pretty much the same experience, but like I said, a little more intimate.
All right, so I do have a pretty important question. At that time of year, what is better, Florida or Wisconsin?
Any time of the year is better than Wisconsin.
Florida, Wisconsin is beautiful in the summertime. There's no doubt about that. But for the most part, Florida wins about 8 of those months of the year.
Yeah, I'd have to agree.
And the other side of the house too is even if going back to the something to do for everyone, with Visit Central Florida and all the attractions in Polk County and everything going around the county, there's just so much to do for everybody. So a lot of our guests will actually come for the week, and then they end up staying for an additional week, going to all the various attractions in the area. So it's just one of the awesome things about being in Central Florida.
Yep, nice. That's good.
Is it all about airplanes, or are there other types of aircraft, other categories?
We've got a little bit of everything represented. We've got our Paradise City, which is the 51 weeks out of the year, the Lakeland Aero Club uses that. It's a grass strip at the Paradise City location. That's just on the southern part of our field. That's the light sport, the light aircraft. This year, we're going to have STOL demonstrations in the evening. On the southeast corner, we've got Chopper Town, so the helicopter industry is represented there. Of course, we got warbirds, vintage, aerobatic airplanes, and then home builts. We've got a large contingency of home built aircraft that show up as well. And then the everyday Baron, Cessna, Piper, Bonanza crowd that loves Cirrus. They love to just come to a good general aviation event. And of course, one thing that we do have an advantage is we have the jet teams. So with our air show, you can come and see the Thunderbirds, and this year the A-10 demo as well. F-18 Super Hornet was just added to the schedule. So a little bit of everything for everybody, and interest for all ages and all people.
Right on. Mark, were you about to say something? I guess not.
Yeah. 5 minutes later, Bill H. Asked if there's any aviation type museums in the Lakeland area. And another question was Deweese Milstead asked about the price to get in.
Yeah, so that's a great question. We are officially the official aviation museum of the state of Florida. So it's the Florida Air Museum on our campus. We recently opened a 20,000 square foot expansion that is STEM education laboratories. That's called the Skylab, and that's educational 3D printers and flight simulators. We've got 20 Redbird flight simulators in one of the rooms. It's a very not just an air museum. We're trying to expand on the STEM education component of what's going on in the industry, and that is just going to be a focal point for us going forward. Is probably a little bit less about the air museum and more about the STEM education and the laboratory aspects. The admission price, we're just under the $50 mark. We're $45 a day. The weekly price for an adult is $170 and $70 for youth 7 to 17 years old. And there are some discounts available if you are an EAA member, for instance. They do offer some discounts there. Daily tickets for youth are $20 a day.
What's the discount? Yeah.
I don't know what the 2022 price is, but it's usually a couple dollars off.
Nice. Well, it sounds like you get your money's worth.
I like to.
It's entertainment.
I like to think so. If you look at the value of look at our competition year round is Disney's well north of 100 and a half just to get in the front door. We've got 5 or 6 major theme parks, and your family trip suddenly is eating into the thousands of dollars once you figure in lodging, and you can spend an entire week with us for under $1,000.
Yeah. Disney is not cheap anymore. I remember Disney when I went to Disney when they were using tickets. They were still using tickets for their rides. Long time ago.
Yeah.
So
now everything's touch free.
Yeah.
For the PPG pilots that are watching here, for them, is it going to be a certain designated area? Do they want them to fly in? Do they want them to fly in and out of the airport with all the traffic, the GA traffic?
Yeah, there's so that'll be out of our Paradise City location, and we've got a large contingency of folks that most of them just drive in and then launch from Paradise City. They're if you're radio equipped, there's ways to get in and out, but operating off the grass strip does require a briefing to make sure you're well versed in the emergency procedures and everything as far as getting in and out and all that. We do have a NOTAM for the arrival and departure procedures off the main runways, but we do have a lot of folks that just come in. Like I said, they drive in and fly off the grass strip.
Very nice.
Yep.
Well, definitely sounds like a good time.
And we also we're having Paradigm Paramotor come back. They're going to be doing the Wednesday and Saturday night air shows as well. So if you've never seen them perform, they're an amazing team.
Yeah.
And they're local to us, so we can't get enough of them. They're a great group of folks, and we really enjoy their art.
Yeah. Do you know Ross Gasaway?
I don't personally.
I think he's on the Paradigm team, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm pretty sure, but I don't know. Whatever. But yeah, that would be awesome. I've never seen them perform at night.
Oh, they're fantastic. There was a couple photos that were out there. There was a storm that parked to the north of us about 10 miles away. While they were performing, the lightning was going crazy, and it was just incredibly photogenic with the lights around the hoop, and then they had the smoke systems and all that going on. It was really beautiful.
Yeah. Well,
Nice.
I'm going to make it to EA. I guarantee it. I keep calling it EA. I'm sorry. Sun and fun. Sun and fun. Sun and fun.
Well, we'd like to think you make both, because unlike we're supportive of all the organizations in the industry. We're not exclusive. We're inclusive. So we encourage you come to our event and you're inspired to go to Oshkosh. That's really what it's about for us.
Yeah, I mean, we are one community if you think about it, especially the experimental side. I mean, and the ultralights, and I mean, so what helps one helps all of us. It really does. Works that way.
Yep. And we just spent a couple of days together. The Southeast Council of Air Shows was in Cocoa Beach, and we got to meet other air show producers And it's a way for us, not only the big shows getting together, but supporting the smaller shows as well, and talking through our challenges as a group, and figuring out how we as an industry can continue to grow together.
Right on. Right on. Well, I know you're busy, Andy, and I don't want to take up more of your time. You've been really gracious. I mean, I tell you what, Andy, you about 6 o'clock or something, I got back to you and we were trying to set this up. So kudos to you. I don't know how you did it with your schedule there, but I really appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I'll hang out for a bit. We've been going at it since like 8 o'clock this morning, but I'm happy to do it. And I'm also a flight instructor and a mechanic, so I love talking airplanes outside of work.
Oh, right on. Excellent. We were just talking about the mechanic stuff. Shane was talking about his he had a mechanic go through his motor and find all kinds of things wrong.
Yeah, I actually we just finished an airplane. It's a Zenith 750 cruiser called the Spirit of Lakeland, and we built it with hand controls. That we're going to teach people with disabilities how to fly. And I actually just had a snafu with my engine, and turned out it was a part installed wrong. But yeah, thankfully I was on the ground myself, so I can appreciate that conversation.
Hey, Andy, Karen has a question. Do you need a aviation radio to fly in and out of there with your PPG?
I don't know the exact answer on that. I know they're trying that the NOTAM that we're in the process of finalizing right now. We're having some verbiage discussions about no radio. The FAA is certainly trying to push us to having a radio, but so I can't answer that as of 8:32 p.m. tonight. I know they want it, but
It would just make sense to have an aviation radio if you're trying to fly in there.
Right.
Well, and that discussion also goes with ADSB and all the larger single engine airplanes that do I have to have it? Do I need it? So yeah, it's that past that 2020 mandate. So that discussion is kind of old news now, but it's still relevant to what we're doing, because we're like 3 miles inside of the Tampa ring for ADSB requirement. It's just one of those fun challenges we have to deal with.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I really appreciate you coming on the show. Thank you very much. I know that you're kind of in between meetings right at the moment. So I definitely appreciate you coming on to explain a little bit about the fly-in.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it definitely sounds awesome. I lived in Wisconsin for 25 years and I have not been over to Oshkosh. We're thinking about going this year. Still debating whether we're going to go or not, but man, this almost sounds tempting too.
Well, it's one of those things. I've been to Oshkosh every year in my life. I was 2 months old at my first one. I haven't missed one yet, so I'm yet to see everything in Oshkosh through the week. It's just that big, and there's just that many interesting and amazing things to see that you got to go, and then you got to go the next year to after you've learned all the things you missed.
Right. So, all right, guys, any other questions or any other questions in the chat forum?
Yeah. So if somebody wanted to get more information, where could they go, Andy? Like what website or anything?
So www.flysnf.org.
SNF.
Yep, like Sun and Fun.
Okay.
.org. And there's air show information. There's information about what we do year round, and of course there's also, we're a 501c3, so there's opportunities if you want to support the programs that we do outside of the air show. There's ways to donate and get involved that way as well.
Excellent. Like volunteers and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. There's all kinds of opportunities listed out there.
I looked at your website actually. Was it yesterday? It's impressive. Very impressive. You guys got to be proud of that.
It is. It's busy, but it just, a small piece of everything we've got our hands in we're proud of our mission, and we're proud of the results that we're putting out.
Right on. Well, feel free to hang out as long as you want to, and we'll, just glad to have you for the time that you've given us. We're happy about that. So
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll hang out. I'm good till 9, so we're good. Thank you.
awesome.
Okay. So that's Sun and Fun, April 5th through the 10th in Lakeland, Florida. That's awesome. Okay, so tonight we also have Chris and Ty, and they're going to be talking about the Kennedy Creek fly-in that is brand new. Now, they are not the promoters, they're the owners of the property. They are just kind of representing the fly-in as they were asked to from the promoters themselves. So, Ty, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and who you are, what you do, and kind of everything about it, and then we'll introduce Chris.
All right. My mic should be on now. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. I think it was off. Yeah. Hey, guys. I'm Ty Downing from Nashville, Tennessee. And our flying club out of Nashville has been asked to help basically get the word out about this new fly-in. The folks that are hosting it are really nice. And the venue is, I've never been there, but I've researched it and looked at pictures. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's actually it's a resort. So all of us PPGers are going to have to behave a little bit, but it is really pretty. It's in Suches, Georgia, and it's Kennedy Creek Resort. And they have cabins for people who want to bring their wives or families, or if you just don't want to rough it. But they do have accommodations for boondocking, so you can bring your RVs or tents or whatever. They just don't have any of the gray water dump stations or anything like that. It's a beautiful 2,000-foot grass strip, and they're very PPG friendly. When the organizer was asking me for suggestions, is what do pilots look for at a fly-in? And I told her, I says, well, we have a good time in the morning, we have a good time in the night, and during the middle of the day we get bored. And so if you can have some activities, that'd be good. So she is going to have vendors and games of some sort. Still looking for suggestions on that, but apparently there's going to be some entertainment midday, and then she was talking about having a band at night. But there is going to be food on site, and I think that's pretty much it. If you go to our Facebook page, which is Nashville Paramotor, there's actually a flyer on there that gives more specifics. But it is August 25th through the 28th, which is a good weekend because there isn't any other fly-ins at that weekend. So perfect timing on their part.
Eric, you're on mute.
Yeah, good deal. Sounds like a lot of fun. Do they know what they're getting into inviting all the paramotor guys?
Well, and that's why I started off saying we're all going to have to behave because this is a resort. But,
yeah, just looking at it.
Yeah, but they are used to having fly-ins there, GA type fixed wing events.
Right.
But yeah, so it looks like it's a really good deal. So our flying club is going to be out there, and I talked with Cody with the Moonshiners, and him and his guys are going to come out there as well. So hopefully we can hopefully we can make it a really great first turnout.
Yeah, sounds good. And we also have Chris, and he's going to talk a little bit about the flying also.
Hey guys,
Chris, yeah, tell us about yourself though first.
Chris Gwynn, fly out of the upstate South Carolina. The Kennedy Creek fly-in is probably myself and a couple other guys from our area's fault because we live right next to Just Aircraft, which hosts a fly-in there. And Troy called me about a month ago and asked me to get in touch with Claudia, which is the lady that organizes everything there. But we have been there. We were there 2 years ago, and I wasn't a big fan of. No offense to you. I wasn't a big fan of going and flying with the fixed wing guys because they didn't seem like they always cared for us too much. But Kennedy Creek people were a different. That's a different group. That they were welcoming. I think they enjoyed watching us as much as we enjoyed watching them. There was no issues whatsoever, and it's a very nice place once you get up into the air. They take very good care of it. The little huts that they have is very interesting. They have a nice pool room, showers. If it's a big turnout, this is in the mountains, so it's not big wide open area like Bad Apples area or one of the Florida places. It's going to get tight in there for us to keep enough land to take off. What you can't see on Google Earth is there is a little bit of incline decline situations, so there's going to be some tight spots, but for most pilots it's not going to be an issue, and hopefully if anyone is hesitant, they just would not send it. I talked with, apparently Claudia is the one that Ty was talking about that runs the place. The guy that owns it's an old F4 Phantom pilot, super nice guy, one of those that wants to sit in a rocking chair and just talk to you, and you kind of just want to sit and listen because he has tons of knowledge and he's a super nice guy. But Claudia, she hires a social marketing person, and that's who I've been dealing with. And I was kind of along the same lines with Ty. I was like, first of all, we fly in the morning and evening, and we're bored as hell during the day. So we need stuff to do during the day. When I was there was fixed wing aircraft. So during the day, they did, what do you call the drop? The target drop?
Like a beanbag drop or something.
Yeah.
Closest to the pen or something like that.
Yes. 20-foot circle, had a passenger. We got to watch all these things, and they flew in the day, and they didn't want to fly when we flew. So it worked out kind of great. The social media person's already talked about, they have a huge pavilion. I'm talking about, I don't know, a couple thousand square foot pavilion. Very nice, right in the middle. She's talking about Family Feud. They're going to do drone video, and then they're going to show the video at night. So I told them once the afternoon flight was over, that's when everyone starts, I don't know, getting into mischief. But there'll be plenty to do. And I will tell you that they do serve alcoholic drinks, and they have a bartender from about lunch on. So you kind of got to be careful.
What could possibly go wrong?
I was shocked. I was shocked too, because it was, even at the time, I mean, it was a fixed wing event, but everybody behaved. No, there was no issues. They had one guy sitting at the end of the runway that they had probably 3 planes in a day come in, and that was really just for the event. I think if it was an event that we were mainly around us, there probably wouldn't be any planes come in. It's very quiet and secluded. I'm with Ty on a lot of everything he's told her. I've told her she's looking for stuff to keep us interested. What's his name? London Ivy had contacted us on Facebook and said, hey, the vendors that want to come up, they really shouldn't charge that. So I text Claudia and told her, and instantly she fixed it. So now if you're a vendor, you go set up your tent. All it costs you is the pilot's fee, whatever. I think it's $60. But it's some phenomenal views up there.
Okay, so it's $60 for the weekend or for the day, or
For the weekend, for
okay?
a pilot.
Are they charging anything for camping?
Yes. Each, I thought I had it on the paper. Each hut, whether it's a hut, house, or whatever, has its own price. I think the camping was $30 for the weekend or something, and that's kind of just puts you on the spot. They're very nice, very accommodating up there. We do have to remember though that they don't know anything about PPG. I'm sure she's going to be going between Ty and myself quite a bit, and I'm trying to help her because I don't want her to get in over her head. But they don't know anything about PPG. They didn't. When I talked to her about takeoff and landing, she's like, well, we got a 2,000 foot grass runway. And I said, yes, ma'am, I know. I flew there, but we have to fly in the direction of wind when we're taking off and coming in. And it's not always on that runway. And I have been watching Windy and some of the others. They do have favorable wind direction with their layout. There's a couple of directions that it would probably be a no-go for a lot of the people, would be, like a strong north wind, because it is on a hill and there's trees up. So you'd have to be able to take off and kind of do a button hook. But if nothing else, it's worth going up there and just hanging out. I can tell you that. The
Okay.
food is great also. They have a chef come in and it is great.
Okay. And that's northern Georgia, correct?
Yes, it's about, Ty, isn't it about an hour north of Atlanta?
I believe it's about I believe it's about an hour and a half north of Atlanta, and I think the website says for camping is $55, if
Oh,
I'm not
okay.
mistaken.
Right.
Okay.
How do you pronounce that again? Sash?
Suches,
Suches,
Georgia.
Suches, Georgia. Right on. Did you happen to see James's comment about? No, it wasn't James. It was Phil. That they should just go ahead and call 911. Have them there if they're going to be drinking, But and I bet you that anyone that's coordinated a fly-in has come to the same realization that it's not about the flying; it's more about the camaraderie and being around people of like mind and like interest, and just feeding off of each other's excitement and ideas. And so, the flying's fun, but it's the people that makes the difference.
Yeah, that is very true. Because we can fly at home,
Yep,
but we can't see our friends every day.
that's right.
Exactly right.
So,
It's a nice area.
Now,
I got to give it to her.
About flying there, since you've been there before, and there was a question about it also in the chat, and I was looking at it today on Google Earth. It's got a decent amount of fly area before you get into just solid trees.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Yeah, it looked like there's a pretty decent amount of valley, over by the water. Pretty good, decent amount of valley areas before you get into the actual mountains.
Is there a link to that fly-in?
No,
Say it
not
again?
yet.
Okay. So if somebody wanted information on it, is there someone they could contact, or a Facebook link or anything?
Yeah, well, on our Nashville Paramotor page, there's their flyer, but you can just go directly to Kennedy Creek Resort in Georgia,
Okay.
and they have all the listing of all their accommodations and everything on there.
Excellent.
Yeah, definitely with setting up stays and reservations type, you'd want to go straight to them. They're pretty quick to respond on the email. I know that. I did see a question in there before it gets too far back about when it was. It's the last weekend, I think 25 to 28 August. And the other thing was the prices were different. And things like that is what me or Ty would be able to say, hey, we've got different prices. I didn't see 55. I just thought maybe someone saw it. So if you have any issues like that, Ty's page has got the flyer up, and then I put it on the Paramotor page. So if you get with one of us, we'll straighten it out. She's pretty respondent with those things.
One thing that I am just now noticing, and I think we probably need to reach back out to her, is I think that the camping fee is supposed to be included in the pilot entry fee unless you upgrade to a cabin. I think that's the way she was talking. And then if you read the flyer, it kind of reads like you got to pay both, and that's going to be a little bit much for guys that just want to tent camp or RV.
I'll shoot her a text.
On the flyer that I'm looking at, it says that tent camping is going to be 35, RV camping is 55.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, but that's reasonable.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I'm looking at it differently. Anyhow, sounds great.
I do know if you Google the address, I noticed today, it comes up High Valley Resort permanently closed. That I think is the old owners. They bought this a few years back, so don't let that fool you into it's closed. It's Kennedy Creek now, so High Valley Resort I believe is permanently closed, but everything is still the same, except for everything that shows High Valley is it has the pavilion and some nicer stuff now.
So around that area, is there like larger cities? How long does it take to get to a city where people can go shopping if they got to go to Walmart or need supplies?
When I was there, we went to the liquor store and like a Dollar General, and it was 10 minutes away.
Okay,
But there wasn't a lot in there. It was a small city. It wasn't a big city.
but at least it's something close by if they needed fuel.
Yeah, yeah. All that was within 10 minutes. Just not anything elegant or extravagant.
Right.
Dollar General is very eloquent. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, man. If it's the only store in town, it is elegant.
There was a question kind of back a little ways about was there any special insurance that they, and you may not know this, that they had to get for the PPG side of this or the ultralight side of this?
I don't know that. I really don't. I had just given her some or collected some suggestions for a waiver for her to collect from all the pilots. And that's as far as that talk has gotten.
Okay. Yep. That makes sense. Chris, when people have questions, how can they reach out to you to ask questions or concerns or anything like that?
They can shoot me a message on Facebook, Facebook Messenger, comment on the paramotor if they want to. I've seen a lot of the comments about the prices. I promise I will get that hammered down with her by tomorrow. Is the camping fee and the pilot fee, is it totally separate? Because honestly, it's a nice place, but I think 55 and 60 over $100 between the two would push a lot of people away from it.
I agree.
They do have food available for cost, but it's not bad. The breakfast was great, but they're making money on that and all the rentals and all of that. So I'll see what she can do with that. She seems very open to suggestions, and I'll let them know. I'll put that on the page, and then I'll send you the information, Eric, if you want to get it out.
You bet. Ty, how could people get a hold of you for questions and answers?
Messenger through Nashville Paramotor.
Okay. And this, we all have to remember this is going to be a first PPG fly-in. So there's going to be hiccups expected. But yeah, absolutely. They'll get it all ironed out and hopefully it'll be another good one in Georgia there. So
that's one thing I wanted to point out too is please remember that they are fixed wing. They've done a lot of fixed wing stuff, and they just are super nice people, and I wouldn't want anyone to go up there and show their butt. And it's going to be, Ty knows we told her we would help with as much as we could, but I'm sure neither one of us wanted to take it by the reins because it's just too much.
Right. Eric, if we can, there was one question back in there. Someone asked about is it family friendly?
Mhm.
And the times that I've spoken with her, she seemed to express that they do want families there. And I told her, yeah, a lot of times, wives do go with the guys, and sometimes they bring kids. So I think the answer would be yes. It definitely is going to be family friendly.
Definitely.
Good deal.
There was not tons of kids, but there was quite a few kids when we were there. There was a whole section of the Mennonite group. They come in there with 3 or 4 planes and could really, really fly, like you wouldn't believe. Won some of the competitions, and they definitely some of the nicest people you ever met. That's what I mean. Is it's definitely a nice group of people completely friendly to smallest kids you can get there.
Yeah, I think a lot of the fly-ins are family friendly, and most of them you see the families there.
So do they, the
Also-
Mennonites, do they wear the, Shane, I'm sorry, man. I think you wanted to say something. Okay. The Mennonites were, do they wear the garb and everything when they're flying? Like, the white shirt and the hat and I mean, the whole thing?
The women were in dresses, and I hate to say this, man, but the teenage girls could outfly just about everyone. No lie. They would crawl in, cross their dress over, and fly the hell out of those planes.
That is awesome. Really. I mean, that's amazing.
Shane, what do you got?
The mute button is right above my forehead on my background, and I can't see it. Ty, what are you clicking on this entire show? All I hear is Ty's, something's clicking. I don't know if it's his microphone or.
Oh man, I'm sorry. I'm just fidgeting.
Yeah. See, Eric, if you'd have said that a half hour ago, we would not have gone this entire show listening to that.
I thought it was a mouse click. I thought someone was clicking their mouse.
So did I. I did too. I texted Eric and said, text Ty and let him know. He's like, I muted his microphone. I'm like, that doesn't tell him he's making noise.
My bad.
Just messing.
No,
with
no, it's totally fine. It's driving me nuts. No, there was comments in the thing going, Shane's microphone. I'm like, I've been on mute this whole time. With the RV camping, you said there was no dump station for the RV dump?
No.
Okay. All right.
On the flyer, it says you can dump gray water on the flyer.
Must be a big flyer.
Right. Yeah.
Good job, Will. Good job, Will.
I'm sorry, dude.
Andy got that one good. He
As long
got
as you
that
dump it
one.
on the flyer. You have to bring a stack of flyers.
Oh, that's perfect.
All right. Anything else on that flying, or is there any other questions? No?
I would very much like to go, but I'm already got unfortunate plans. When I miss fly-ins, I really hate that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sorry
do
on
you
that.
know if we're going to be able to run our generators?
Oh yeah,
that-
generator talk.
That's one of the
I haven't
things
asked about that. Have you?
that's one of the things I was going to get with you about, as I know a lot of them have their quiet hours. You will have to be able to, we ran ours all during the day, but that place goes into my next thing about the weather. Well, I saw the North Court, Georgia comment. That place was awesome. It was 75 during the day and like 52 at night.
Nice.
So you really could shut down. But I have to ask her about the generator. I don't think she's used to that. So is it going to be a cutoff time? I do know for a fact you can run it all day long.
Okay.
Well,
You're gonna take care of that question?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think if you've got a like an inverter generator, I mean those things are super quiet. But if you got one of those screaming ones that don't stop screaming from the time you put gas in it to the time it runs out, and then probably 30 seconds afterwards, those I've been to fly-ins where they have those and they just run all night long and it's miserable. But the like the Predator inverter generators, they're quiet as all get out. I don't see why that would be a problem.
I agree with you.
We'll ask.
Moonshiners is what I thought about with that. Was
Yeah, that
everybody
10
shut it
o'clock
off
or
but one
11
guy.
o'clock thing. Yeah. I was like, dude, I mean, it was fine, whatever, but it wasn't inconvenience if you weren't ready or you got a late start on trying to cool your camper down and they come by at 11 or 10 o'clock, whatever it was, and shut your generator off. I don't know. I didn't really care for that much, but I did understand it. I just thought it was kind of a little much to go and shut someone's generator off.
Hey, before we're
Anybody
done,
else
I
that
wanna-
has it-
Before we're done, I want to tell a Mennonite story. I'll tell it when we're done with everything else. But No,
Anybody
it's
has
awesome.
any other questions for the owners? Put it over in the chat if you will, and I will address it.
I'm all ears on the Mennonite joke.
Yeah, let's hear it, Andy.
No, it's so when I worked at EAA, we had a mobile marketing trailer. It was a semi trailer we took all over the country, and we had 2 Redbird flight simulators in the front. And we went to the Cleveland Air Show Labor Day weekend. And the first day we had a bunch of the kids come in, Mennonite kids, and without obvious electricity and all this stuff, without obvious training, within about 4 to 5 minutes, you could tell these kids knew something. And through the course of the weekend, this group of 4 suddenly was a group of 8. And then it was a group of 16. And then it was a group of 30. And the kids that had gone the first time brought their friends. And as the weekend progressed into Monday, there was like a group of 100 kids coming in, all cheering on their friends and whatnot. And I finally sat down and I asked them, I'm like, so what is it? Aviation is an obvious hook for you guys. You're all into it. And they said, we read about it all the time. And several of them expressed their love of RC aviation. And for them, that's their hook to get interested in these big airplanes. So my takeaway from that was how cool that I inspired like hundreds of kids in a semi-trailer in Cleveland, Ohio, that never would have had an experience like that before. And you wish you could give every single one of them an airplane ride, but there are, just because it seems different to most people, there are tons of groups of people out there that really love aviation. And if we just give them a chance, we can share this with everybody, and you'll find out how fun they are as a part of the society. Right. So
Yeah.
it was very inspirational for me as a flight instructor to walk away that weekend knowing that you made a massive impact. And it was pretty neat.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah,
That is awesome.
Absolutely. All right. So no other questions. Let's see. So we have one more flying that we want to talk about, and that is, a lot of people may not know, but Jade and I fly out of the Tomahawk Airport here in northern Wisconsin, and we've been working with the airport quite a bit past month and a half or so, and we are going to also do a fly-in up here. We've had people kind of reach out and wanted to know, what this fly-in is all about. And trying to pull it up here. And I don't know where it's at. But anyways, it's going to be the weekend before EAA, and it's going to be open to PPG. It's also going to be open to ultralights, PPC, and we're going to try to get some general aviation in there. The airport manager is going to have a note 'em up. Some of the things that we've thought about doing is we're going to be doing like a spaghetti feed. We will have DJ there all weekend, but we're also going to have some events, during the day, as far as try to get one wheel races, the beanbag drop, stuff like that. Those are the things that we have been working on right now. We're still working on a lot of the technical stuff, dealing with the city, because this is a city-owned airport. And but the general aviation pilots that operate out of there are actually really excited to see something like this come in. They used to have air shows and stuff like that, and this is not going to be an air show. But they've kind of stopped doing that because the law lost interest. So, talking with a lot of the general aviation pilots, they're glad to see, I want to say, fresh blood come in to the airport, because a lot of these pilots are getting older, and they want to see some young people come in and do something with this airport. if you look on Google Maps and look up Tomahawk Airport, you can find it. There is a lot of water, there's a lot of trees, but on the right route, there is also a lot of LZs, and there's a lot of outs if you need to. But we have tons of things to see up here, from cruising through the Harley Davidson plant to fishing to whatever you want to go do. There's plenty of stuff to do. But yeah, those are just that's going to be coming up. As I said, I don't have my information in front of me right at the moment. But
Hey, Mark McElroy wanted to know for Chris, is there water available to fill the campers at the fly-in?
We'll have to ask. I don't know.
Okay,
Yeah,
Eric,
it's considered non-potable, be garden hose, from the south. So yes,
okay.
but I drank it last time and it was fine.
All
nothing
right.
happened to you?
Yeah.
That's good with me.
Hey, Eric, can you read the question on the screen there for your flying in Wisconsin?
Absolutely.
Oh,
Yep.
I did put stay. Okay, great.
Yeah, so it's going to be July 15th, 16th, and 17th. I just got it. And it will be open to the public. They're going to put a NOTAM out there. Some of the things that this is at this airport, they have a full school. So they do have a full motion flight simulator. If you want to, go and hop in this thing and try out what it's like to fly a 172. Of course, that would be an extra charge, but there's going to be hangar space for storage overnight if need be. We are working on getting food trucks up there. There's going to be avgas for sale. There's water on site. Everything's going to be rustic camping. We do not have prices on what camping will be or what pilot fees will be, only because we are trying to keep this as budget friendly as possible. So it's not a huge expense for somebody to come in and fly. Nobody's making money on this. So we're going to try to, basically if we break even, that's all we're looking for. And we're looking for people to come up and have fun. So we've already had people reach out from way down south that want to come up to the fly-in. So it would be a good time. As I said, rustic camping, but there will be water on site. Wait, or is that considered non-potable? Well, Chris drank it and he left. So it must be good. But yeah, any questions on that fly-in, you can reach out to me through Facebook Messenger. And we will get more information out as we get it. We're just still working with all the logistics of that. And once we got it figured out, we'll make it public. Bill H says it's only 1,100 miles away. Bill?
Hey,
That's not far.
Eric, what's the closest airport I need to fly to?
Rhinelander, RHI,
What?
or
HI.
CWA.
Oh my God. Text me it.
Eric, how long does it take you to get down here to Atlanta?
Well, it takes me 6 hours to 12 hours to get out of Wisconsin. No, Atlanta, I don't know. A long time, I really don't want to say. I think that trip we left, and it took us, with all the stops, because we don't seem to stop a diesel station or pass one anyways. I think it was right around 24 to 26 hours of driving. So it's doable in a day, Mark.
In a day, not 26
That's a
hours.
pretty hard day right there.
Yeah, that's 2 hours more than a day.
Right. We're not really, so we know we're not going to get a lot of Southern pilots, but we're looking more towards Michigan, Minnesota, Indiana, Illinois, Iowa, that area. And yes, the snow will be melted in July. So,
I
That's-
can vouch for Tomahawk. My grandparents lived on Lake Nokomis, and that is a beautiful part of the country.
there you go. Yeah, we're just We're just on the other side of the highway from Lake Tacomas. So
Yeah.
very nice.
I tell you, I just recently learned how to spell Wisconsin, but it is amazing how many people know someone from Wisconsin. Seriously, or have experience or have lived there or whatever. I have been to Wisconsin. It's a beautiful state. Just so far
Yeah,
away.
that's a pretty good place to be from.
Wisconsin.
Still better than other states, though.
Exactly. So, but as information comes out with all of these new fly-ins and also the Sun and Fun, they will, if when this information comes to me, I am putting it out there when I get it. So, like Ty reached out, he wanted to promote this. Chris reached out, he wanted to promote this, and this is what we really need to do to get these fly-ins to be successful. So, because all you got to do is go to one fly and tell your buddies, and then your buddies are going to come the next year, and then those buddies are going to come. So it'll be a snowball effect. But I don't think any of them are going to be a disappointment for people. So, all right. Well, you know what, guys? I really appreciate you coming on the show. And if you ever find any more new fly-ins, let me know. We'll get you back out here and go from there. I really look forward to see how successful these fly-ins are. Obviously, Sun and Fun has been successful for how many years, Andy?
48. This is our 48th year.
Wow.
Wow, that's a long time. How long has Oshkosh been going on?
They started in 1953.
Okay.
Well, then that would probably be what the second. It's got to be up there, the top 10 or whatever. I mean, the longest running fly-in. That's incredible.
So, good deal. All right. And, well, Mark, where can we find you on social media to buy Paralife PPG, the apparel?
ParalifePPG.com and on YouTube, just Paralife PPG.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for coming on the show.
I really think Mark is watching TV and has us all on mute.
No, that's his wife. That's his wife who she has to talk loud normally to get things through Mark's head, but it just folds over to rest of the
Yeah,
conversation.
between her and the dog, it's a losing battle.
Well, if you wouldn't get the dog all those squeaky toys. Yeah. Shane, where can we find you on social media?
You can find me on YouTube at Never Trust a Skinny Chef Shane or TikTok at ppgshane.com.
Very good. And Will?
You can find me on YouTube. I'm Will Fly or willflyppg.com.
Or the drive-through at Dairy Queen.
That'll work too.
Right.
I'll take it.
And you can find me at ppglear.com on this show. Next week, it'll be actually next week it's Shane's turn to do the show, but we're going to do it on this platform. So it's going to be advertised on ppglear.com. It's just easier for me to figure the platform, but Shane has a guest coming on. Shane, who is that guest?
It is going to be, ironically, it's going to be another fly-in conversation. It's going to be the Sunnyland owners coming on to discuss, because they just had one a couple months ago as a trial to see what they need to work on, and they have a whole new bunch of updates and stuff for this flying coming up in Florida, in Okeechobee, Florida, and I'm really excited about it. They're great people, and they've got a ton of room. They had a lot of room before. They're going to have even more this time. So they're expecting 3 times as many pilots as they had last time.
Oh, good deal. Good deal. And then let's see. And what I'm going to do is for the few shows after this, we're reaching out to a lot of the promoters for all the fly-ins. And we're going to try to get them on here slowly to kind of push the fly-ins that they're doing. So that's what our shows are going to be about for probably the next month. And then after that, we're just going to go back to whatever we decide to go do. So tomorrow, Jade is having I do believe, 12-year-old girl.
14.
14-year-old girl that was paragliding at the age of 8.
Wow.
So that's going to be a good show. Can't wait to see that. And you can find her at paramotorgirl.com, and her show is Girls Just Want to Fly. It's going to be a good show, like all of her shows are. She sets the bar high for me. So, all right, guys, you all have a good night, and we'll talk to you later. Thank you.
Thanks, Eric.
Good night. Thank you.